Hey everyone. I was actually waiting for the dog to shut up, but it's really late and I waited and just wasn't keeping quiet. So I was like, why bother? Let's just go ahead and record the video. So here I am. Um, I'm almost ready for bed. It's 2:30 a.m. But I wanted to do the video for the day. And I wanted to share something interesting that well, at least it was interesting for me, that I found out today. Over the last couple of days, I was feeling quite anxious. I was feeling quite emotional. For example, on Sunday, I was watching Gilmore Girls with my mother, and in one of the episodes, the girl, Rory, bonds really well with her grandfather. And that got me really teary eyed because I was reminiscing about the time I used to spend with my paternal grandfather. And I don't know, just the whole thing made me cry. And that didn't make sense because that's not something you cry about, I wouldn't have, I know. So it just felt like I was being a little weird. And yesterday, all through the day, I felt extremely anxious. Sometimes for no reason, I sort of, actually, it's not for no reason. I'll get to that. But sometimes I tend to go into these obsessive thought loops. And I found that, especially yesterday, I was doing a lot of obsessive thinking. And I was getting anxious, and I knew that some of it was totally irrational. So I was like, yeah, what's going on? And I went to bed. And I woke up in the morning and I was looking at my phone and a notification popped up. I use a tool, actually an app called Flow, to track my period cycle, and it said that that there are chances of mood swings and obsessive thoughts, and also I think insomnia. And last night I didn't sleep well at all. I went to bed pretty late. I think I fell asleep around 5:30. I was in bed by 4ish, but by the time I think fell asleep, it was 5:30. But I woke up by 11:30, so I didn't get enough sleep at all. And I initially attributed it to just my jitteriness through the day yesterday. And I thought maybe some of it was just residual stuff that hindered my sleep. But it was really interesting to see to see the pop up on Flow, because it was like you're on day 23 of your cycle. So it's likely that you're going to feel mood swings. You might have obsessive thoughts, you might have insomnia, and a bunch of other stuff. And that came as a bit of a relief because I was like, oh yeah, like hormones are totally real. And in the luteal phase, which is the you know second half of a woman's period cycle, the both, like, there are two hormones involved, like the progesterone and estrogen. They both plummet, and which just like gives rise to a lot of internal, like, emotional uh, upheaval, I guess. But then it made a lot more sense to me because I think I was getting so worried that I wasn't sleeping because of my anxiety, and that could be true. But it's also true that hormones are real. And that made me feel better because for the last, like, few weeks, I've been sleeping pretty well. Ever since I sort of stopped putting too much pressure on myself in terms of work and focused more on enjoying life on a day to day basis, my sleep has really improved. And I also did this whole 34-day zero caffeine trial. Actually, it was much more than that because I think it was for about 50 days. The first couple of weeks, I sporadically had, I think, herbal tea that had like a little bit of caffeine, but Even so, the my caffeine levels were really low, and for 34 days, I had zero caffeine, and I'm sure that also impacted the sleep I got. But over the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been sleeping really well. When I was growing up, I was of the belief that hormones and stuff are things that one shouldn't worry about, and you should just ignore them and go live your life. While I agree with the sentiment that, just get on with your day, do your stuff, and a lot of times action sort of helps you get over your mental or, emotional, yeah, whatever is holding you back at those levels. But the truth is that hormones are true. It's a real thing. And I found that a better way of dealing with this is to sort of accept that this is real and that I could work with it instead of, ignoring it and then finding that it didn't turn out quite that well. And what I mean is this, like, earlier I used to not bother whether it was my period week or not, and I'd go ahead and pack my days with a lot of work, only to find that irrespective of how much I tried, my productivity levels would always be at least 30 to 40% lower. And then I'd just be a bit angry with myself that I didn't work hard enough. But that wasn't what was happening, right? It's just that my body is in pain. My body is like going through quite a lot, and there's just a general sense of fatigue, and I'm not sleeping as well, and there's so many things that happen. So I found that being cognizant of where I am in my cycle and planning my days in accordance with that is just so much more intelligent. Yeah, so that was me rambling about my period and what I discovered, and I'm going to go to bed now. Hopefully, I'll get a good night's sleep. And wherever you are, have a great day, night, afternoon ahead. Ciao.